Good afternoon. Welcome to the tea table. I am so happy you have joined me today. And it's going to be it's a change day. We're in transition. Our weather now is beginning to leave the summer and enter into the autumn. And today is a rainy, cozy, my daughter calls it a Pride and Prejudice day. Time to get a big pot of tea, a good book, a good friend, and enjoy. Well, I'm calling this back to school, and we're listening to Johann Sebastian Bach because I always think he is so energetic and intelligent and inspiring. He helps you think, and we need to think when we go to school. Well, if you haven't gotten your tea yet, please push the pause and get your tea, and I will be waiting for you. Well, we've been outside so many tea talks. I couldn't go out today. Everything is covered with rain, gentle rain. But I prepared a lovely tea tray just for you, and I will show you. And my husband picked me these roses from our garden. And they're not the last roses of summer, but they're getting there. Aren't they gorgeous? And I have a silver tea set that you'll see in a minute. I'll put this down. And for the treat, these are homemade, healthy autumn back to school muffins. I made them for my husband. They have bran cereal, raw bran, raisins, nuts, blueberries, just a touch of sugar, tiny bit bananas. Very, very healthy. It's like eating a bowl of cereal with a cup of tea or coffee in the morning. So those are for you. Please help yourself. This is going to be a real afternoon tea, not a high tea, just a very simple tea. Now, I will take the cup I chose, which is blue and gold, because it matches this little vase. Now this vase is really special to me. It's so little, but it says Trieste, Italy. And my daughter, our youngest daughter, Elizabeth, went to Trieste for 2 summers to a violin camp. And she loved it there. Trieste is really far north Italy on the Black Sea, on a high cliff. You can look it up. It's very famous. World War II. Many things happened. A big castle. Anyway, so these roses fit perfect. A little tiny. It's probably my smallest vase. And then I'll move around these and I will show you the teapot. Oh boy, that is very, very hot. I'm going to have to get something to hang on to it with. That is very hot. I haven't used this teapot before, and this is the problem with some silver pots. They don't have the, they'll put rubber bands or kind of a rubber on the handle, and it makes it possible. I just don't want to drop this. Let's see. I'll move the milk. Move my milk pitcher here. And I'll turn this around and we'll pour it the old-fashioned way. And I'm not going to pick it up. I'm just going, this is an old-fashioned trick when the pot is too hot. You just turn it and you go like this. Isn't that lovely? Whoa, it's very brisk. I've been steeping it for quite a while. And we'll put a little splash of milk. And we're hearing the best of Bach today. We're hearing a real variety of pieces by him. Oh my goodness, this is very brisk, very hot. Lovely. Lovely indeed. Let's move this around. And we'll move this teapot around so I can put my cup. It's a very crowded little... I think we'll just move the sugar bowl here because we're not using it. Move the teapot there, the creamer, and I'll put my tea right here. Oh my, and I must straighten my hat. It seems to be falling. I like a hat for back to school. And I'm wearing some really interesting jewelry. This is a little school bus, or this says, one says stop. Let's see. And then this is a school bus, and it has a little heart and a little stop sign. Isn't that fun? And then this says stop, and that's a little school bus, the front of it. So it's touches of yellow and red, and I just put it against a black. I normally would wear for back to school probably navy blue. But for this, I think it works, and I don't think it's too dark. It's a nice contrast. I'm going to keep enjoying summer too, but I thought for today, we're into Labor Day, and I brought a few things along that remind me of back to school. And first of all, I have a lovely, this little doll is so darling. And I call her my Anne of Green Gables doll. And she's carrying a school book, see? And she has, if you can see, glasses. Isn't that adorable? Little glasses, wire framed, and a little hat and her plaid. She's all dressed, ready to go to school. She is so sweet. And I like her, so I thought I'm going to bring her, not just for the children, but for all of us. Dolls are so wonderful when they symbolize various experiences in life, and people have become extremely creative with dolls. So there she is. Okay, now for my little people, I have the sweetest, oh, that hurt. Whoops, is she gonna stand? Whoops, oh, she's not quite balanced on her frame. Let's see, I'll lean her that way. I think she'll do all right that way with her hat. Is that going to work? Getting it just right. There. There it is. This is a darling little, it's a portable little desk for little children to learn to write. And this here is a chalkboard, and this is a chalkboard. And you can see that it has animals. There's a kitty, a ducky, a bear, a girl, an elephant. So this is at the very beginning of learning. This is really an antique. And I think up here, whoever's working with the child, the teacher would put like A or B or C, and then the child, the little chalkboard, instead of them standing up, they're sitting and they write here. And I just thought, I love this. And I thought this is back to school for my tea people. And we'll put her back. Oh, she's gonna stand now. There, she's doing good. And I thought, what is back to school? All of us. I go back to school every year in my heart, and I always love to be studying something or teaching. And now I'm teaching, so I am going back to school, and I have gone and picked up, let me show you, when you go back to school, you need a really good day timer. Now, I know a lot of people use their phones, but my feeling is I'm using my phone for so many things already. I'm old-fashioned and I like to have a pen and pencil, and I found this bag and I thought this bag says everything. So many books and so little time. Isn't that sweet? And it has the autumn colors, the orange. And so for my day timer this year, I always get one in July or August. I got a burnt orange and it says 2024 because it will start in July or August and goes all the way to the end of 2024. And I've already written things in it. I like a big calendar, and then I have a lot of notes and maps, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful way of organizing. It becomes like a journal. I keep mine, and then I can look back if I want to know what I did at a certain time. Well, what else do I have in here? Well, I have my glasses. They're very important. Then I have something that I found that it's called a bibliothèque. And it is a bibliothèque. And what it is, it's a holder for your pens and pencils. Isn't that nice? And it just matches perfect. And now I have room in this bag to carry other things and keep it organized at home. I keep it all together. And I like using colored pencils for my studies. I like marking my books. I like marking taking notes. And then I thought, well, let's see what else we're gonna have here. Let's move ahead here to there. That was St. Matthew's Passion, but let's move ahead to Cantata number 82. Okay, now this is my own personal book bag. It's a satchel bag. It's forest green, and it has a shoulder strap I could carry. I can carry an iPad, a computer, my notebook, my teaching materials, my books. And when my students give me papers, I can keep it all in here. And I just love forest green. It inspires me. Get something that inspires you. It's real leather. It has suede on the ends. I love this. It's brand new, but you know what? I thrifted it. I got it at a thrift shop. You can get the best things there. You don't need to spend a lot. And it inspires you. A new bag for fall. Wonderful. In fact, I've always loved forest green, and it reminds me of autumn, New England, Simon and Garfunkel, all of our school days, our memories. I love forest green and navy blue. Well, another very important thing in the fall is football. And I found this I've been cleaning through my library, and here is my son Gabe. It's number 40 when he played for Shelton High School, and he was always on varsity, and here he is. This is what my husband uses for his computer. We still have it. And then he went on to college, and his team won championships twice. Whitworth College, first place. And he also played violin and had a voice scholarship. He was a singer. There's Gabe. And football in the air. I love the smell of that football feeling in the autumn, and hearing it's fun if you have someone that you know to go watch and play. And I just love it. Soccer's nice too. My grandchildren play soccer. Well, then I was looking around. I thought, back to school, look what I found. A protractor. Remember those? That's old-fashioned. And then I found this. Remember that? I'm sure they still use them, but everything's gone so computerized. And I love this, so I thought, this is back to school. And then I found something I use quite a bit. And it is a 3-hole punch. When I make copies, I like to keep things in my 3-ring binder. And a lot of times I put them in a plastic sleeve. A really good way to organize a lot of things, you know? Well, now, every age, we want to cover every age for back to school. So I found this, The Best of Hans Christian Andersen. And my dear friend, Dawn Jarvis, who passed on, and she was my true mentor, a true artist, the most amazing, creative writer, graphic artist. Her house was like, it was like a fairy castle. It really was. In fact, she had a castle in her backyard that the children could go play in. And she told me she was very well read. She said of every author, of all of the spectrums, other than George MacDonald, she loved George MacDonald, but she said Hans Christian Andersen is her favorite person. So if you have little ones, make sure they not just watch a movie, but read the book with them, right? Well, then for even a younger child, I found something so sweet. Moses the Kitten. And that's by James Herriot. And he's the one who wrote All Things Bright and Beautiful. This is beautifully illustrated. Moses the Kitten. And I think, you know, all ages could enjoy a book like this, sitting down together. Then I got these. I love these. I love getting a collection of these notebooks in different colors to organize my things for fall. And then I thought, the most important thing, I think, probably, in most of our lives, should be, if we are not doing it, we should be doing it. And I'm also speaking to myself, is keeping our journal. And this is a beautiful journal my sons gave me a few years back. It's made in Italy, and it has the fior-di-lis. And my name means lily. So this is very special to me. And it's a brand from Italy that when you fill one journal, you can get another refill. So that's really nice. And it's real, oh, it smells like real leather. Navy blue with gold. Write in your journal, even a little bit every day. You won't be sorry. Back to school, time to do it. And then let's see what else I have under here. Well, under here, I had a stack of my history books, but I put them away because I just have so many. Now, here's another journal. This is a really good one, too. This was a gift from my daughter. I receive journals as gifts. I really appreciate it because these are very, very good quality ones. Now, when I was cleaning through my library, I made a wonderful discovery. Remember when I told you about Dorothy Abraham and Victoria, the elderly couple, Dorothy and Ted, and that she had written books? I found her books. Here it is. Romantic Vancouver Island by Dorothy Abraham and Lone Cone by Dorothy Abraham. And these are all about Victoria in the 1920s and 30s when people had to ride bicycles up island or take a boat. And she was there. They were there right after World War I. And so there's pictures in here, fascinating books. And I'm going to reread them because she writes with such personality. She has good humor. And she was in her 80s when we met her. And she said, I would love to go out and play tennis. I just can't quite do it. But she had so much heart and spunk. And then I'm finding here my note cards. I like using note cards for fall. And here is Martin Luther, one of my real heroes in church history. I like to use a lot of color pictures when I teach my students. And then I found the Celts of Chaldees and the Celtic cross, and that has information. Then I found, this is something I created. It's called His Tree, and I use it as a diagram to teach church history. I divided church history from Christ to today in 10 parts. And if you see, the bottom is the seed, is Christ. The first 300 years are the roots, the early church. The trunk is the longest, the Middle Ages. And then it goes up to the branch, which is Renaissance, and then the bud, which is Reformation, and it goes on to all the way to today. So I still use that. Well, that was all in this desk. I thought, well, this will be fun. I'll just show my tea people and get you in the mood for back to school. And I've always been in school. Like I said, I'm either teaching or studying. And when I wasn't formally teaching, I would go to a women's Bible study, and it was wonderful. Once a week, we had our notebooks. You study, you learn, you discuss. It's inspiring, and we all need to be learning continually because there is so much to know. And fall lends itself as the days will start to get shorter. I'm sorry, but this hat is not quite on right. So anyway, let me go back to my tea here. I just thought I want to inspire my tea people to, it's not too late to sign up for a class. My daughter kind of organized her own book club with a few friends. They read a book a month and then they discuss it. And it's not overly formal, but it gives them, you know, a goal, and wonderful. She said it's just amazing how much more you get out of a book when you discuss it, you know? Well, what are you planning? This weekend is Labor Day, and we're going to see some old friends for one of the days and have a little picnic. So I'm looking forward to that. But I thought I want to get everyone geared to have your own. This is what I tell my students. I teach young adults and middle adults at my seminary, and I tell them, start creating your own library. And if you don't have room in your house, get a little shelf by your chair. Everyone has a chair they sit at. And that's your library. And start building it with your own books. And it's amazing how fast it will build. And your books are precious. As I was putting away my books today and looking, I found some I hadn't seen for a long time. And I was thinking of Winston Churchill. He loved his books. And he had a special room in his house, a sunroom, where he would sit and read his sacred books, all his like church history, biblical books, anything spiritual he would read there. And then he had his other library. And then when World War II came, he had been working on his memoirs of, you know, his whole life. And he got completely interrupted with World War II. He had to put it aside. And he said it was so intense during the war, so much happening, he could never get to his library. And he said he would just walk by the books and touch them and say, I'm coming back soon. I miss you. I'm coming back soon. And then God granted him a long life so he could finish that, the history of the English-speaking people, which is 4 volumes. And then the government said, you must write your World War II memories. So that's what he did. And everything Winston Churchill writes is worth reading. But if you study his biography, you realize a lot of it he had a microphone set up very archaic, like a old phonograph that he would speak into, and then his secretary would transcribe it. And I thought, that's what we can do now. There's Dragon Speech on your computer, or you can talk text into your email, and then correct it. It's an easy way to write, because if a person is a better speaker than a writer, it's a good way. And then you could even get someone to edit it for you, and out of it could come a beautiful book. And who knows, it might be a book that influences many others for good. And that's what we want. We want to be an influence to others. And that's what the TeaTalk is about. I want to inspire you. September, go get a journal and organize a little place to write in it once a day, even if a few lines, even if you just write what you have done or what you are doing. But then out of it will come poetry, will come ideas, will come thoughts. And it organizes your life in a way that nothing else does, because I did religiously keep a journal for like 25 years, from before I was married to about 25 years. And then we had 7 kids. I had so much going on. And my journal went from a journal to a prayer list. So many things to pray about and think about. But if you ask me right now, what were you doing? Where were you? January 1981. I can go right in my journal and tell you. Isn't that amazing? And those years are very well ordered in my mind. I think writing it down actually helps you organize it so life is not a blur, but life is planned and ordered and blessed. Well, someday I'm going to have a little person come on this TeaTalk with it, and we're going to have them sit at this little desk and maybe write their letters. Wouldn't that be fun? Well, thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope this has been inspiring to you, and I hope that you have a beautiful Labor Day weekend. Take a break. Labor Day was created for the working man and woman to have a break with their family, because it used to be people worked 6 days a week and there was very little time. So a holiday like a Labor Day, just not to celebrate a holiday, but to celebrate family and life and relax. That's what it was for. So, and just think about the little yellow school bus with the heart, the little sign that says stop. And here's another one. And have a cup of tea. And if you know somebody that's off to school, give them a special little present, a child. They will appreciate it. Okay, well, God bless you. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, push the notification bell, and the like button, and the share button, and the rest will be history. Thank you so much. Boy, this hat, now I know why people have hat pins. It's sliding everywhere. Well, we learn something new every day. So, God bless you, and have a good cup of tea this weekend with the ones you love. Bye-bye.